last time, I think, about supplementary and complementary angles.
Yeah.
Today I want to talk about parallel lines and go through some stuff there with you. So there's going to be a little bit of background information, and then we'll jump
Okay.
into some problems. But um, these are two parallel lines that I've drawn,
Yeah.
and this other one is called a transversal. Transversal. And there's an exterior, there's an interior region, and an exterior region. All right, so there's, yeah, and they go to both sides. Like over here is also the interior and the exterior, and then the exterior. And there's also sort of sides, like on the left here, it's considered a side. And on the right here, it's considered a side. Okay, so there's a lot of ways to like look at stuff, left field, right field, or that sort of thing. You got, but the main thing is to identify, well, which two lines are parallel and which is the transversal, which cuts through them. Okay,
Oh,
now we're gonna generally focus on this orientation. Did you have a question?
no, I'm good.
Okay, we're going to generally focus on this orientation, but I'm going to show you next. And again, you don't have to you don't really need to get this down. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
The parallel lines can also be vertical. Okay. In that previous example, they were drawn horizontally. So it's in here. All right. And then again, they can be cut by a transversal, which can really go in any direction as long as it cuts through them. So this time the parallel lines are going up and down, and the transversal is going this way. You still have the same situation. You still have, let me label it here just to be super clear. Transversal, you have the exterior region, exterior, interior, interior, exterior, exterior, and then again, you have these sides. You have, this is a side, and then this is considered a side. Okay, and this all become relevant here shortly, but more generally though, like the parallel lines could go in any direction. They don't have to go left and right. They don't have to go up and down, but that's where you're going to see most of the problems, where they go either up or down or left or right. Okay. Any questions on that?
No, I get that.
All right. So what I'm looking for right now, which I meant to pull up, is just did a quick search here. I'm looking for a reference sheet. There's about, let's say I think about 5 cases to go through. This is taking a long time to load. Internet's slow. I don't want to have to redraw it each time, so I'm looking for a snip of something that I can just populate in each time. All right, I don't like this one. Okay, let me. I'm gonna draw it really nicely one time, so we've got it, and then I'll just copy it each time. So let me grab one more here. All right. All right, so I'm gonna label 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And these are angles. So I'm labeling 8 angles. Okay.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about a bunch of different things here. So the first one to talk about is what are called corresponding angles. All right. So let me snip this in again, see if I can do this properly. There it is. Okay. So corresponding angles in this picture are the following. Angle 1 corresponds and is congruent to angle 5. So take a look where angle 1 is and angle 5 is. And like if you could imagine sort of like being at this point here and this point here down below, you see how they're sort of in the same relative position, like top left, top left.
Yeah,
It's like if you go to any baseball diamond in the world, you know where left field and right field is. Like nobody has to explain that to you because they
right.
correspond.
Everything,
Okay.
yeah.
So corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, so that this symbol over here with the equal sign, the little, I don't know, it's called a tilde. No, I don't remember what it's called, but it's a little squiggly line thing. Uh, that means congruence. Congruence is not the same as equals, but for now, just assume that it is the same.
Okay,
Keep it simple. So corresponding angles are congruent. So angle 2 corresponds to angle 6.
yeah.
Top right, top right.
Same way that like 4 and 8.
Yes, exactly.
Got it.
So there are 4 corresponding angles in this picture. All right, and let's see here. I was trying to figure out if there was a better way. There really isn't. So if I draw it differently though, you want to think not just in terms of like numbers. You don't want to be like, oh, it's always angle 1 is current to angle 5. You want to think top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, bottom right. That's how you want to remember this. Okay, so that's the first grouping of things to remember. The next one here, let's see, what should we do next? Let's go alternate interior angles are next. Alternate interior angles, all right? So this word alternate, they alternate over the transversal. They have to be in the interior. So the word tells you what it is. Like you don't have to think real hard because it's telling you. It's alternating over something in the interior. So here's what it is. Angle 3 is congruent to angle 6. 3 and 6 alternate over the transversal and they're in the interior. Similarly, angle 4 is congruent to angle 5.
Right.
Okay, so these are alternate interior angles, and they are again congruent. Congruent. Everything we're doing right now is congruent. You don't want to think, we don't want to worry about adding up yet. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Okay, the next type of problem that you will see is what are called alternate exterior angles.
Which is the outside.
The outside, yeah.
Got
So these are also congruent. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 8. They have to be in the exterior now. Okay, now we're not getting into why, we're not saying like how, we're just saying that this is the case. We don't want to, we're not, you can save that for the classroom if you want. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 7. Again, they're in the exterior. The name tells you that they're in the exterior. Okay. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay. So the next thing is vertical angle. And these, again, we're all congruent. So here's the next one. Vertical angles are congruent. So vertical angles, they meet at a V or an X. There's 2 V's here. So for example, angle 1 is congruent to angle 4. I don't know if you can see that they meet at sort of this
I see
place
that.
here. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. And that's all in this top part. It actually has nothing to do with the fact that these are parallel, which is okay. Angle 5 is congruent to angle 8. Angle 6 is congruent to angle 7.
Got it.
Okay, so what we have done thus far is talked about two parallel lines cut by a transversal. Corresponding angles are congruent. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. And then vertical angles are congruent. Okay, so here's the challenge. And I'm trying, I thought that I could find like a 1-page reference for this, which I'm struggling to find. But that's what I'm looking for, is like a 1-page thing that's really clear here. These are kind of all overwhelming, the ones I've found thus far. Let me look one more. So see if I can find one more here, because what we're trying to do here is have you, I'm going to give you some problems, but I want you to tell me which one it is. Like, I'm going to put up a picture. Maybe I should just do that.
Mhm.
Try it. I'm going to put up a picture and you're going to tell me whether it is.
I
All right.
basically tell you what's what. Okay.
Yeah. Tell me, is this corresponding? Is this alternate interior angles? They're all angles. Alternate exterior angles. And last one is vertical angles. Okay. And I mean, there's so many like references on the internet. It's just, there's not like one that just has this all together. Let me see if I can find one. This might be okay. Oh, I want you to pay for that.
Wait, would alternate have to be on different sides?
Yes.
Okay, so then,
So those are out.
okay, and vertical we just did. So
That's
it's
right. It is A. These are corresponding.
Mhm.
All right. So I'm going to throw a few more up in front of you. And let's see if we can get these clear. And notice the transversals going in a different direction than like the way I was presenting it, which is fine. That's totally the case.
Okay.
All right. So again here, which is this is a corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, vertical angles.
Alternate exterior.
That is correct. Alternate exterior angles.
Mhm.
Okay. And here's another.
That's wait, can you repeat can you repeat A, B, C, D? Yeah, that's vertical.
These vertical angles. All right, let me see. Okay, so let's do it slightly differently now. We're not going to solve this. Again, we're just going to look at a picture and you're going to tell me which one applies.
Is this saying between those two numbers?
It's
Okay,
like this angle here and this angle here.
alternate interior.
Alternate interior, good. Very good. Let's look at another one. All right, here we go.
Alternate exterior. No, wait, that's not on different sides. Oh. Alternate. Well, that's on the outside, so alternate exterior.
Alternate exterior, good.
Got it.
Okay, that's really good. Let's do one more here. No, I realize I gotta be a little bit more clear here. Let me circle the ones I'm referring to. So that one right there and that one right there.
Oh, can you copy and paste the A, B, C, D thing? That would be, corresponding.
They're corresponding. Good.
Nice.
Okay. All right. That's really good. I'm looking for a few more here. Actually, here's another good one to throw up in front of you. All right, here's another one to look at.
Alternate exterior.
Alternate exterior, good. Okay, fantastic. So I think you've got those down. Now there's like, if you want to break what geometry is about in terms of like the mechanics, like what you're going to do in this class, there's two things. You either set things equal because they are congruent, like we just were talking about, or they add up to something. And that's what we were looking at last week. The two last week we talked about, or week before we talked about complementary and supplementary angles. So for example, complementary add up to 90, supplementary add up to 120, or 180, sorry. So the same thing does apply though to a transversal, but we need to add like a few more definitions here, unfortunately. So everything we just did today was setting things equal. Now we're going to talk about how they can add up to something.
Add up.
Add up to
Okay.
something. So we're going to look at some of those, and then we'll look at the parallel line. So let's say I draw a single line here, and this comes out x degrees plus y degrees equals 180. Okay, these are what are called a linear pair. It is also referred to as supplementary angles because they add up to 180. But linear pair means they are found on a straight line.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is new stuff. This is now, okay, we're adding up to something, we're adding up to something. What do we add up to? In terms of the, I gotta grab it now again. The parallel line structure cut by a transversal. All right, so angle 3 plus angle 5 equal 180. So angle 3 is here on the left. Angle 5 is here on the left. These are called same
Interior.
side interior.
Okay.
So when you're same side interior, 3 and 5, they're not congruent, they add up to 180.
Yeah.
Angle 4 plus angle 6 also adds up to 180. Because they are same side and on the interior. So same side, remember we talked about earlier, there's side left, side right.
Yeah.
Interior, interior, exterior, 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 interior, interior. Like you got to know these things, sides, things like that. All right. So these add up to 180. That's the difference.
Mhm.
That's the like, you know, whereas like previous problems, you just set them equal. Sometimes they add up to 180. Okay. Now this also applies to, and we kind of already saw that here. Let me go and grab this. If I make another line like this, okay. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, like we've seen before. We know that, for example, angle 1 and angle 4 congruent, angle 2 and angle 3 are congruent by vertical angles. Okay, we already know that. We've talked about that. But angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180 because they make a linear pair. Angle 3 plus angle 4 also
Together,
equals 180.
180. Got it.
But so does angle 1 plus angle 3. So does angle 2 plus angle 4.
I see. So the same sides,
Yeah,
everything.
like
Yeah.
so the idea here is like if you eliminate part of it, like we did 1 and 2, they add up to 180. Like that's this first picture. And then if we look at it from the other side, 3 and 4, they add up to 180 because they're on the straight line. You see, I'm just drawing parts of this.
Mhm.
Similarly, if we go this way, 1 and 3, they add up to 180 because they're on a straight line.
I see.
And if we go the other direction here, 2 and 4, they also add up to 180.
Got it.
Okay, so like if you were to say like, what did I learn today? Like someone says, well, what did you learn today? It's that angles are either congruent or they add up to 180.
When they're not, or when they are congruent, what do they add up? Congruent can
don't know.
also add up to 180 though, right?
And yeah, if they're both 90, sure. But most of the time you're just setting them equal to each other.
Got it.
All right, so here is an example of these are same side interior.
Right.
So the question is, are they congruent or do they add up to something? And that's where
They add up to
you're,
180.
yeah, they add up to 180. That's where you as the student have to be able to distinguish between them. It's not difficult, but you do have to know the difference. And
Right.
that's where it can be, tough. Here's another example of same side interior. They're both in the interior. Okay, parallel line, transversal. They're on the same side of the interior. These add up to 180.
I see.
Okay, so the math here is not difficult, like meaning that like you know how to add up to 180. What is difficult is identifying what you're using and why.
Like the trick or the
What it is.
the
Are
method?
they vertical? Are they
Right. Yeah.
corresponding? Are they same side interior? Are they alternate interior, alternate exterior? That's the issue. So like, for example, here, I'm gonna give you a problem. And I'm not interested in the answer. I'm gonna actually give you the answer. I want you to tell me why it's the answer, okay? So in this problem, we're asked to find the measure of angle 1. It is 67 degrees. Okay, I want to know why. That's what's important here. Which
Oh,
one is it? Is it,
because it's. Oh, but that's on the.
so the vocabulary here is what's challenging. Let me see again if I can find
It's corresponding.
something. These are corresponding, yes. Okay.
So the measure of angle 1 is 67 because it's corresponding.
That's right.
Got
And
it.
that's what's really important. Now on the test, you could be asked for either one. They could tell you that they're corresponding, what is the angle measure, or they could say, if the angle measure is 67y, you would want to be able to quickly distinguish between them. So I'm going to drop this in the chat. That might be useful. Always a guess here, what actually could be good or not. Let me see. Yeah. So in the chat, there is a picture kind of all the ones we've been working on today.
Go click on it.
You can open it up if you want.
Oh, I see that. Okay.
I'm gonna throw some more problems at you. And again, like I'm gonna give you the answer. I'm not gonna ask you because you're either adding or subtracting. It's not hard, or you're saying they're equal. Like here, The measure of angle 4 is 90 degrees. I want to know why.
Because it's a right angle.
Well, that is a right angle, but why is angle 4 90 degrees? What is it about
Oh,
these two
it's
angles?
corresponding.
They're not corresponding.
Oh, these are
This is one of those exceptions where it
same
looks like
side
they're
interior.
same side interior, which means they add up to
180.
180. Yes. All right, let me look for some more problems here. I'm struggling to find like, so I guess we will just have to jump into some more problems here. Okay. All right, so here we go. These two angles are congruent. Okay, 3x plus 10 equals 5x minus 10. These are congruent. But why? What is it that makes them congruent?
They're vertical, no?
Vertical ones, double check that.
Vertical interior.
So go to that picture I sent you. Let me see
Yeah,
if I
I
can
have it up. Okay. Oh, that's easy. That's alternate interior.
alternate here. Yeah,
I meant that. Okay, I understand that.
because you got a 50-50 chance if you're guessing. Like it's like, okay, well, it's either they're equal or they add up things. Okay. Now, this is the extent of the algebra that you have to be able to do in geometry. You have to be able to set like two equations like this equal to each other and then solve for it.
That's not that hard.
Okay, could you do that for us, please?
Yeah. 3x plus 10 equals negative 2x.
So I'm looking for something like x equals and then a
Oh.
number.
X equals negative 2. No, x equals 0.
Okay, so this is while that's possible, it doesn't, if we go back and put those values in, we get 10 and negative 10, which is incorrect. So this is one of those things where it's like, okay, you haven't done math in a while. You didn't really do much of this towards the end of the year.
Yeah, maybe
So
I need to walk through this. Maybe
right, so
subtract 10.
the first thing is to move the smaller x to the larger x.
Okay, so minus 3x.
Minus 3x from both sides. 10 comes down, 2x minus 10. And then you look at the side with the variable. And you have to undo this multiplication by 2 and subtraction by 10. So you undo subtraction by 10 first by adding 10. So 20 is equal to 2x. And then you divide by 2. So x equals 10.
Got it.
Okay, now this raises another sort of thing that happens a lot in geometry. You have to ask yourself, am I solving for x? Like, is that the answer? And you're like, well, why wouldn't that be the answer? Well, sometimes it is. Sometimes it literally says like solve for x. Okay, and then you are done. But sometimes this is just an intermediate answer, and you actually have to use the x to determine the angle or the length.
Right.
So in this case, you have to use the answer. You have to put X back in one equation or the other to find it. Find the angle measure. Could you do that for us, please?
So make X equal to 0. And
X is not 0. X is,
oh no, okay, sorry. So make X the value of all X
Yes.
is 10.
yes. And if these truly are congruent, the angle measure should be the same.
It's minus 10 on the right side, right?
You're
Like-
putting 10 in for X.
No, I'm saying that 5X minus 10.
Yes, that's a 10
Okay,
there.
I see that. I see it. $30 plus 10, 40. Okay, so I get 40 equals 40.
And that's what you expect because you already know that they're congruent.
Mhm.
You already know the answers, so you're not surprised when you get that answer.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna do more. I mean, I'm not gonna just be like, okay, you got it now.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's what happens in the classroom. All right, so new problem here. The angle at the top, the angle at the bottom, they are congruent. Why though? Why are they congruent? Which one is it? What's the reason that they are congruent?
Because they're alternate exterior.
Yes. Okay, so now I want you to set them equal to each other, and it doesn't matter which side. If you want to put the 4x minus 20 on the left or the x plus 10 on the left, it doesn't matter. I want you to solve this equation, much like the last one.
X equals 10.
Okay. Now I want you to verify your answer. I want you to put those back into each of
Make
these
them
angle
equal.
measures and see if they're
Okay. Yes, 20 equals 20. So they're the same.
good. Okay, so now we're going to move into some problems where I'm going to not tell you whether they're congruent or not, or whether they add up to 180. So first thing just for us today is you have to decide whether they're congruent or they add up to something.
Okay. Congruent? No,
They are congruent. Now tell me why. That's also important. It's 50-50, right? Heads or tails.
they're because they're they're like blanking on the word.
Go back
Alternate?
to that. Go back to that picture I sent you in the chat and look for something
Yeah,
similar.
let me look. Oh, vertical? Because they're
They're
vertical.
vertical, right? So sometimes there's distracting stuff out there. And you don't care about just that. Yes, they are vertical. Okay.
I see.
All right, so now. But now I want you to solve for X.
Okay. Wait, so what do I plug in for X?
You have to solve for it. If they're congruent, which is what you just said, congruent means you set them equal to each other.
Oh, okay. So I would do 3x plus,
Congruent means they're equal. You're setting them equal. You're writing 3x equals 75.
x equals 25.
X equals 25. Good. Okay, let's try another one here.
Sounds good.
All right, so same thing. I want you to decide whether the indicated angles are congruent or they add up to something.
They add up.
Okay, give me the reasoning for that. Which one of those
Well,
is
they're
it?
not vertical.
That's true, but there's like 5 things that it could be on that paper I sent you.
Corresponding.
They're corresponding. Are corresponding angles add up to something or are they congruent?
They add up.
These are congruent. Corresponding angles are congruent.
Oh, okay.
So there's really like a Quizlet here or a quick quiz where all you do is identify, what they are. That's what I'm trying to do here, along with giving you some solving. So since they're congruent, what is the equations? What are you setting equal to each other?
The exit or the same like side.
Give me the equation that you're solving.
Oh, 6x equals 5x plus 15.
Okay. Go ahead and solve for X, please.
Easy go. Sorry, that's my dog.
That's okay. Just be an internet star.
6x equals 5x plus 15. X equals 15. No. Yeah.
X equals 15. Okay, that's good. So solve for X. Now I want you to find the measure of the angles. These two angles right here. What are they? What is the measure of those angles?
Ninety.
They're both 90. Yeah. Good. Okay, let's look at some new problems here again. You might have already looked at these. Okay, so here's a new problem for you to look at. And keep in mind here, like what we've done in 40 minutes, you would probably take 2 or 3 days in your class to cover. So
Right, yeah.
you're way ahead here. And I know some of this is not like fully secured, but you'll see it again. It'll make a lot of sense. We're looking at the angles here that I've highlighted. Are they congruent or do they add up to something and why?
Let me take a look at the sheet. What is it when, hold on, I'm trying to, oh, they're corresponding.
They're corresponding. Are they congruent or do they add up to something?
They add up to something.
They are congruent.
Well, they're congruent.
Let's go through that list real quick again.
Okay.
I think there's some, and this is where I would You'd have this out in front of you. I know you haven't had time to like print this and anything like that, but okay. Corresponding are, I don't know, I'm gonna put congruent, same side. I'm sorry, alternate interior are congruent, alternate exterior are congruent, vertical angles are congruent.
Okay.
Vertical angles are congruent, corresponding are congruent. So same side interior. Same side interior. Those are the ones that add up.
Right.
We have not talked about same side exterior. It's kind of a rare case. I would just tell you for now to just ignore that.
Okay.
Alternate exterior are congruent. Alternate interior are congruent. Okay, we've got that down. So corresponding means they're congruent. So you're going to set these two equations equal to each other. You're going to first solve for x, and then second determine the angle.
Okay. X equals 23.
Okay, and then what is the angle measure of each?
$92.
Are they the same?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Good. So the math is not hard here. Like this is not about your ability to do complex algebra. You won't be doing any factoring. You won't be doing any completing the square. You won't be finding any vertexes. You won't be doing any of that nonsense. You will
Yeah.
be solving very simple equations, but the emphasis is on why.
To
I
get.
don't know if you, yeah.
Sorry, keep on going.
I don't know if you like that or not, but because math is
Well,
very
I
much
sort of
about,
do because the factoring I found a little bit harder. I know it'll get harder, but this seems pretty straightforward for the most part.
it is. But it's frustrating because for a lot of students, because they just want to like air quotes do the math and like, yeah, you're going to do the math, but you have to know why. I mean, at least I'm always curious about why. And
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to be. Because if you just, if we just create a person that can do, you're no different than anyone else. You want to know why something works so that you can apply it in another situation. So again, here, I'll highlight the angles and I want you to tell me if they are congruent or add up to something and why. What is the justification for that?
They add up to something.
Okay, why is that? What are these considered then?
Alternate interior.
Okay,
No, because that's on that. Yeah. Yeah.
they are alternate interior, but that means they are congruent. So congruent means they add up to, I'm sorry, they equal each other.
Mhm. You want me to solve now?
Yes, please.
$26.
Y equals 26, okay. So go ahead and see if the angles are the same.
Yes, sir. 130 and 130.
Right? So if you get an answer that doesn't work, like let's say you found y was 25, you put it back in, you're like 125 and then 138 for 28, you would say, okay, there's something wrong, like I missed something. And that's okay. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you just make a numerical mistake. That's fine here. All right, one more problem for today to close out here. Again, same thing. You know, are they congruent? Do they add to something y? Maybe we should start with the y. Like, what are they? Are they, you know, are they corresponding? Are they vertical? What are they on that list that we've been looking at?
Alternate.
Okay, they are alternate
Alternate
interior.
interior. Yep.
Are they congruent?
They add up.
All right, so this is the third straight problem. They are congruent. I've given you 3 in a
Oh,
row.
because
The last one, alternate interior congruent. These were corresponding. Sorry, it gets 2 in a row.
no, but like, I'll do the.
They're
Oh,
so
I
congruent. So we haven't done one yet, but we're gonna maybe next time we'll do that. I just want you to see that they equal each other. That's what congruent means. They equal each other.
okay.
Adding up means you combine them together.
Oh, okay, yeah. They'll equal the same thing once we solve it out.
Yes.
$12.
Okay, x equals 12. And then does that work? You know, and again, you can use calculator if you want. Doesn't matter to me. You know,
It's fine. I'll solve it out real quick. $62 and $62.
yeah. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and stop there for today. Good job.